Hi, everyone. My name is Antonio Nieto-Rodriguez, and I'm very happy to be able to give a short presentation for the 33rd Global Symposium and the 7th World Project Management Forum. And thank you also for the recognition of my work. It's very much appreciated. I've put together a few ideas that I'm working on and have been working and researching. So unfortunately, this period is hard for traveling, but I still wanted to be present together with all of you today and tomorrow. So um, I've been working a lot on why projects fail and how to make that successful. And that's been the last 3-4 years of work and research, and the culmination on my new HBR book that will be published on the 20th of January. Powered by projects, leading your organization in the transformation age. My background is I'm from Spain. I'm calling from Madrid, and I've lived in several countries. I work in several corporate roles: PwC, BNP Paribas, GSK. I was chairman of PMI in 2016. Today, I am vice president of APMG. Um, and I've also founded the Strategy Implementation Institute to build implementation capabilities. And I've been active participating in thought leadership forums, not project management, more thought leadership on leadership management. And I'm also professor in several business schools. So that's a bit my trajectory. One of my biggest achievement was convincing Harvard Business Review of the importance of projects and project management. They didn't publish much. They thought it was tactical, engineering, IT, but not strategic. So the way I managed to sell it, the first one, which is the handbook, it was basically saying them, listen, everyone is a project manager today, but they don't know it. Most of them, they don't know it. So here's handbook. The new one is a bit similar. I'm saying every organization is project driven, but most leaders don't know it. So that's a bit how I managed to convince them that there's an urgent need for that. This is the big issue. I think, of course, the number varies, depends on which criteria you take, but there's numbers are high. You can go to mega projects, which is more than 95, 99%, according to some research. Digital transformation, AI implementations are very high. And what I found out in my research is that if you want to, and leaders and organizations, they want to be more successful with projects, they need to work on 3 areas, which is the organization, the leadership and executives, and the ways of working and competencies around transformation. I think the majority of books around projects transformation, they focus on one dimension, mostly on the bottom one transformation. There's some around the leadership role and sponsorship. There's very few on organization project driven. But what I found out is you need to work on the 3 at the same time. And that's why my new book has this blueprint that will help leaders and organizations to move beyond the just small improvements to have radical improvements on how they do their projects. This is a bit of a background on the project economy. As you know, it's a concept that I kind of saw and established 5-6 years ago, which says that slowly operations are being more and more automated, have been for many decades through the different initiatives like total quality management, Six Sigma, business process engineering, ERP systems. So this was about maximizing efficiency. And projects is taking its space more and more. And this is just in organizations. This is one organization. And you can see the shift of the type of work. Of course, with AI and robots, the shift is just moving faster towards automation, robotization, and AI-driven operations, which leaves uh, just the future of work to be project-based. I sometimes run workshops with senior leaders, and they tell me the line here is wrong. They want nobody working in operations. It should go to zero. So the future of work, and this is what I call the project economy, is project driven. Agile teams, product development, innovation, while operations will be run with very, very few people. So that's the project economy. So that's where we need to work on improving. If we want success in transformation in projects, we need to work on organizations, on leadership, on skills to be able to compete in the 21st century. So what are some of the challenges that we see and I've noticed when I work with corporates and any type of organizations? Most of them, they're not built for change. They're built for stability. Transformation applied top down. We run projects and transformation like they were operations. So that creates silos. Everything is a priority, way too many initiatives. Leaders initiate more projects than they can complete or stop. Executives prefer their comfort zone, which is running the business, over spending time in transformation. I think this is a big issue and I want to do more research, but most of the projects, 95%, even 99% of projects run in organizations are incremental improvements. There's very few exponential, radical 10x projects, and I think we have a role to play there too. I think long projects drag for too long, 3 to 5 year transformation. This is not realistic anymore. Maybe 10 years ago was possible, 20, but now we need to be working shorter cycles. Capabilities have been outsourced to consulting companies. So it's often that I hear a company telling me, Antonio, the transformation is done by consultants. My internal people keep running the business. Not good. And then I think we forget that you need to have a group, a team instead of a group of people to perform high. and we don't talk. Most of the methodologies, they put the people at the end, the team building at the end, and that's what is never done. So I always say 99% of the projects people are doing are run by groups of people, not by teams. So here's a bit of what I cover in my book, but you need to learn to run your business, putting projects at the core. Forget about top-down imposition of projects. It's co-creation is the key word. Most of the best ideas come from the sides. Benefits should not be imposed from the top, co-created. Really important to prioritize. I wrote an article in HBR a few months ago about how to kill projects. Really important skill and competency if you want to be successful. Never start the transformation if you don't stop 2 or 3 to make some space. Force senior leaders to spend more time in their out of comfort zone, which is the transformation. Move them out from their comfort zone. This is key. Aim for 20-30% of your portfolio on exponential projects. Many will fail, but one will determine how your business looks like in a few years. I always say now that have only projects of 3 or 6 months maximum. That allows you to pivot. I know we all have phase gates, but they're not really respected or not taken like points of pivoting. They're taking more a control mechanism. I think by having projects of only 3 or 6 months for the larger, it really makes the closing much easier and also the pivoting much easier. It will help you with your portfolio. The transformation muscle has to come from within. I'm really busy now helping companies build transformation capabilities, modern project management capabilities, not just for the project managers, for a large group of people who spend 2, 3 days per week doing projects. And then really build teams. This is, I think, the thing that pays the most, and we do the least. So really, really important. So you see, all these topics are key in order to be more successful in projects. If you do one just dimension, it will not work. We'll keep the 7% failure rate. And that's why in my new book comes this new concept, which is, we've heard about operations-driven organization. That's a 100 years old concept, or more, maybe 200. Then we had Agile in the 2000s, but Agile is already 20 years old. So Agile has done some good changes, but it doesn't allow for transformation at scale. So Agile organizations, they have come to an end, and they need to be thinking about something else. And the model for me, which is very clear, I didn't have it clear when I started to research and write my book, but when I was writing the book, it was just obvious. In one side, you have operations driven, Agile was the pivoting moment, and project driven will be the future of organizations, where projects are the core and operations are modular and can be outsourced, not just the back office, but front office functions too. And I just published my second HBR magazine article, call it The Project Driven Organization, which has been so far extremely commented and liked. So I recommend, if you have time, to read that. And that's it. I wanted to take the opportunity to invite you to the launch. We have a launch webinar for free, organized by Harvard Business Review on the 20th. Oh, I see there's a typo, 2026, of course. And you can register here. So you're all welcome to join. I will be sharing much more, and we'll celebrate, I think, hopefully a new concept that brings our profession to the highest level. And that's it. You can connect with me. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the recognition. Thank you for what you're doing to move forward the profession. And I look forward to keeping in touch. And yeah, it's a really good meeting, Congress, and we'll keep in touch. All the best for the new year as well. Thank you very much. Hasta la vista.